Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my YouTube chit chat. My name is Inazak and this is my YouTube channel. So guys, there is a breaking news that has just been broken. And this breaking news, it's good, it's fine, but majority of people have taken it with a broken heart. I will explain the reasons why other people are not happy and other guys are happy. To me, I must say I'm very happy because we are a constitutional country, a country that is guided by the constitution, and the court has just pronounced himself. So guys, what's about this broken news? The news that has just been broken and doing rounds as at yesterday midnight is just Gitiriba has been released from remand prison. So if you want to know the gist and you want to know more about this, why other people are not happy, why Gitiriba was released and on what condition, therefore I recommend you stay on course because I'm going to reveal every detail at the progression stages of this video. If you're coming across this video for the very first time, kindly click at the notification bell so that whenever I have a video or upload a video, YouTube is going to notify you forthwith. So let's dive in after the break. Welcome back to my YouTube chit chat. My name is Inazak and this is my YouTube channel. So guys, let's dive in straight away now. Gitiriba has been released, and the source says that Gitiriba was not released on a Friday or even a Saturday. Gitiriba was released on a Thursday, and the information people got it on a Saturday midnight that Gitiriba was released. So countless number of time all these things happened. So I had just to confirmed, and the information that I was related to is that Gitiriba was released on a Thursday. Well, why Gitiriba was released on a Thursday and why the information is coming? As you know, once you are from police custody and you are taken to the prisons, sometimes it takes long. So the Gitiriba was released on a Thursday because there was a chain of process that the court itself grounded its principle for the bail to be achieved. Therefore, all the process itself must be procedurally taken for Gitiriba to be released. You know, sometimes it takes a long of time. Once somebody is in court, or you must start with the police station. From the police station itself, the court must be notified and you do application of payment bail. You go to the court registrar will again start looking for the file. You go to the prison itself for the file also to be looked at. You know, it takes myriads of steps for basically for a suspected or a suspect to be released from the remand prison. You know, Gitiriba was not jailed. Gitiriba was in a remand prison. You know, those who have been jailed are those who have already been convicted. Gitiriba was not convicted because he denied all the charges. So Gitiriba is still deemed innocent till proven guilty. That's why in a remand, when the court has not dispensed with you, therefore you are being put there. And in prison, you are there, you will not be punished to do other kind of work, nothing. You are just sitting there idle, waiting for your arraignment in court, for your cause to just to ensue. So this is what we have to understand about the remand. So Gitiriba was not jailed. Gitiriba wasn't a criminal. Gitiriba was a suspect of the heinous act that people are talking about, the child molestation itself, as you can know. So let's hear out how Nairobi teacher came and ran and have an inspection.
He wasn't released on Friday. He was released on Thursday. But they have been keeping it under wraps. They didn't want people to know that he is released until yesterday. It's when it was made public that he has been released. Okay? So that is the information that is coming here. And guys, there is only one suspect who has pulled the strings or who has posted the bail. And actually not one, two people have done that. And one Marwa and Jamaican uncle. Guys, yesterday, which is Friday in Kenya, we saw a video that was done by Jamaican uncle, and Jamaican uncle was at village grandpa's place. He did a video while there. And do you know who has bailed him out? It is the village grandpa. Okay? It is the village grandpa who went and gave out the money to get him out. Okay, in Kenya, they do give bail to criminals, of course, because remember, this is a constitutional country, so everybody has rights. However, if they deem you as a danger to the society, they will not bail you. The government will not allow to bail you out. You will be denied bail. And guys, that begs the question, why village grandpa? Why village grandpa? Of all the people, village grandpa is not a relative to Gitiriba. He's not related with him in any way, but he's the one who went to bail him out. There is only one reason why village grandpa went to bail him out. It's because village grandpa commands a voice of respect in Nyabohanse. So if he goes and vouches for this guy, he will definitely be done what? Be released from jail. But it doesn't mean that he's going to be released free, of course, with money. Okay? So it is Jamaica. I'm not saying that that is how it is. This is my opinion. This is my opinion that I'm giving. Jamaican uncle has a hand in it, and Marwa also probably played also a hand in it in contributing money to bail this guy out. Because remember, a lot of people, he's been there for a few days now, I think almost a week, and nobody has been bailing him out. Until now is when he's been bailed out. And remember, the moment he's just being bailed out is the moment that Jamaican uncle left the village and traveled to where? To Masai Mara. What does that tell you? He doesn't want to look like he had a hand in what was happening or in releasing this guy or giving money to bail him out.
And he's lamenting and he's saying other things. Others agree with him, others I don't. Like for example, what I don't agree with him is in our courts we give bail to criminals. We don't give bails to criminals. We give bails to suspects because Gitiriba was not yet convicted to be called a criminal. Remember, Nairobi teacher is not a lawyer. Nairobi teacher is just giving his opinion. But sometimes opinion, when given wrongly, we are here to come and correct that. So Nairobi teacher, Gitiriba still remain innocent till proven guilty, and that is the principle of the jurisprudence in anywhere. You are innocent till proven guilty. We've not yet reached that because 1st September, 1st November, Gitiriba will be in court for the court proceeding pending his hearing. So he will go there so that the rubber will meet the road. That's where we'll get to know the truth, whether the case is proceeding or not. Secondly, prosecution was the one to counter the bail. If at all they deemed Gitiriba to be more faithful or more dangerous to the minor or to the society. So these things, all these were brought into picture, which means the prosecutor also countered. That's why for any bail application hearing, the prosecution also must be notified so that if they have any objection to it, they can file application denying. So, and again, it's upon them to prove and convince court that actually the criminal and herein Gitiriba is more dangerous to the minor in the society. So if you don't convince the court will never rule on your favor, but it will rule in favor of the suspects. And that's why Gitiriba was given bail, because there is no any risk posed. There is no any risk posed. So the issue that Naribitia is saying that is posed kind of a criminal kind in nature, there's not. I'm going to explain this one at the progression stages of this video. So stay on course. So everyone has got a right for bail. Whether you are suspected of treason, whether you are suspected of murder or anything unimaginable, you have got a right to be bailed, so long as you're not convicted. So it's for you guys who are now applying for bail terms to convince the court that bail, that with all your clients deserves bail. You tell us the reason, and it's also the prosecution who will come and counter the bail. Therefore, the court shall be in the middle, so impartial to rule and give his verdicts going forward as per the evidence adduced either by the prosecution or the defendant. So it will be in the middle, whether the bail terms accepted or not accepted or introduced, the middle ground one. And that's why you find Gitiriba has already been given bail. So it doesn't matter. Are you there? You know, again, something to also to be corrected. Nairobi teacher, it wasn't a cash bail, it was a bond because the court refused cash. The bond, it is in terms of a property equivalent to amount of a shilling or amount of $1 that was posted. So a property is amounting to 1,000 USD. That's what court wanted, because if it was cash, marwa or anybody could have been given. Gitiriba could have come out long time ago. And again, you're asking a question, why village grandpa? So village grandpa was involved because the court spelled the grounds of that bail. That bail should come from whom? So they never wanted a bail from anybody who has been in close proximity with Gitiriba. They wanted a bail from any trusted person within the society. Are you there? Anybody who would stand a neutral ground, such that if Gitiriba will decide not to attend court, therefore the village grandpa will be apprehended to produce the Gitiriba under what we call the habeas corpus. Are you there? And that's the fact. And that's why village grandpa got in. Remember, Mayugno decided to go and help by giving his document. But his document for title deed was rejected just because these people have been friends and moving together. So the court, it was rejected on the ground that you people, you're together, you people, you're friends. And the court never wanted somebody who's been friend. So they wanted somebody who's on a neutral ground. That's why Amaro could not do it. That's why Jamaican uncle could not do it. That's why even Amaro dad could never do it. That's why anybody associated with couldn't do it. But a neutral person was a village grandpa who did that because it was on the grounds that was spelled by the court itself. So you have to adhere to it because it's not easy. Are you there? Secondly, the reasons why you see it took so long for these things to come out, because Gitiriba was released on a Thursday. That was the court verdict. But it's on a Thursday, but it was at night. So the moment they went to the prison itself doesn't operate past that hour. So they had to just wait. So the release was on a Thursday. That's the court verdict that Gitiriba has already been set free from. If you go to the record, they will not on a Thursday. But if you go to the prison itself, they don't work at that wee hour. So the issue has just to be out that everything has been paid, but the prison itself department doesn't work at that moment. So which means you have to wait for all those time for Gitiriba to come out. Now, Gitiriba came out on a Saturday. So the 2 days, even on a Friday, the prison works, but that department dealing with doesn't work. So on a Friday, on a Saturday, Gitiriba had to be released. All the files must be availed. Everything must be done procedurally. That's why people never had these issues going forward, and that's how these things works all the way. So, guys, the issue of the bottom line is everybody has got a right for bail. It doesn't matter whatever kind of a crime you're being accused of. So long as you're not convicted, you have a right and a bail, and it's a fundamental right. So the only institution that can deny you bail and give you bail at the same time And recall that bail, it's the court, not the prosecutor, not anybody in the street, not a positive reactor, not a negative reactor. So it is the precincts of the court itself. So let's hear more about the revelation of Nairobi teacher and why Nairobi teacher is agonizing, why Nairobi teacher is not happy with Gitiriba's
What
bail
makes you
going
think
forward.
he's not going to interfere with the parents of the kids to drop the case? And not even the parents have no right to drop the case, but the parents not to collaborate. They can be paid money not to collaborate with the investigators. The kid can also, like there are very many bad things that can happen. There are very many bad things that can happen because once a monster, always a monster. There is no two-way, like, guys, come on. Seriously, how? It doesn't make any sense. If they could have released him and then they say that these are the affected parties, let's say the kid, the parents, and the associated witnesses, they are taken away from that village to go somewhere else where this guy cannot have access to them, that makes absolute sense. But imagine they're taking him back to where the victims are, to where the accusers are. There is only one outcome, guys. There is only one outcome that is going to come from all this. That case is going to be dropped, or the investigation is not going to lead anywhere because they are going to interfere with the investigation. As simple as that. Guys, we have seen even here in our country, our president, our former president, and the sitting president were accused of crimes against humanity. Do you know that the charges were dropped? And the reason why the charges were dropped, the witnesses were being found in the forest dead.
So guys, you see,
Other witnesses were
understand
accusing
the fear of
themselves,
Nairobi
saying,
teacher.
"Oh, we are not going."
Because Nairobi teacher is the one who came and made all these kind of arrests impossible. Now it's agonizing. Understand him, but there is something I need to bring to his attention. That all those things you are saying was channeled and was countered by the prosecution side. If at all you are in connection with the UNICEF, they were present when all these conditions were given. Therefore, Gitiriba posed no harm. Gitiriba posed no threats, intimidation to the minors, to the parents and the victim per se. Why is the reason for that? Remember the time I was addressing issues of DNA and I was addressing the issues of child abuse with pregnancy, child abuse without pregnancy. I brought an issue of DNA, but it's the same seminar teacher who came and said, what's for DNA, which means you have to wait for other people to be pregnant. My friend, in any case when there is any molestation and somebody decided to abuse you, two things can happen: infection, pregnancy. So that's a parameter. Because when such kind of things happen, nobody's unaware. Now, we are discussing post-activity. To post that activity is post-essay, which means it's either the victim is pregnant or not, or the victim contracts other kind of diseases. But in case when a victim was abused, then the pregnancy was involved and was not removed. Therefore, the case is so easy to be proved. Therefore, there's no intimidation. What will be pegged on is the DNA of the child. Whether the perpetrator is released on the ground, it won't alter the DNA of the child. It won't alter the DNA of the perpetrator. It won't alter. Whether they go and maneuver with the parents, that one won't happen. So this is the argument that perhaps the defendant had to present to the judge or the magistrate, and the jury himself decided to let Gitiriba be incorporated back to the society because that's a jail terms that is so actionable and allowable. Are you there? Because it only makes a problem that somebody is taken to a court, whether the person did it and there is no pregnancy. So how are you going to prove the issue of child abuse, say abuse here? It becomes a problem because the scene of crime has already been tampered with. And what's the scene of crime? Is the body of the lady. And how is the body of the lady the scene of crime? That is where we'll find the injury, maybe when the guy was trying to penetrate. That's where we are going to find even the semen of the guy. We are going to find the injury that was caused. Okay, when was this thing happened? It happened some 2 years ago. Therefore, where will be the evidence? Where will be the evidence? I saw this case was going to be dropped a long time ago because I told people there is no evidence confirming. When I say there is no evidence confirming that the person XY who was being associated with this thing didn't do it. He might have done it, but there is no evidence. How could you go and prosecute somebody? You can prosecute. How could you go and jail somebody without an evidence? Because the court will need an evidence because it's an issue of molestation. What's the evidence? The evidence, it should be of that medical, which means when somebody has been molested, don't wash your body. Because the government chemists need those specimens to really trace the man. Whether the man will run and even take birth, come after 10 years. Once they obtain all the blood, the semen, which means your DNA is in it, the cell. So any day you appear, you could be apprehended and they just subject you and just match your cell. It will be so identical, which means the specimen and the body of lady itself, if at all it was not washed, shall put you to the scene, which means once there is a match, you're the person who molested. And that is an empirical evidence, and there's a physical evidence that even if you're released back to the village, you want to be able to interfere with, because already it's with the government and with the state. Now, I think the Nairobi teacher is understanding. But prosecution or prosecuting things with emotions, prosecuting things that are not making sense, this is what it leads to, because court will say, okay. Well, Nairobi teacher is addressing that. There were intimidation, like only Mayani doing video, now recanting it. So these are the things that the court attention must be brought to. After which the court of attention has been brought to all such kind of issues. Now, the witness shall be called because it's serious and be put on affidavit and then to sign. Then that is what we call the self-incriminating, because this kind of witness that are now must be apprehended, because they are the people who are now causing havoc, wasting court's time, swearing an affidavit saying this, tomorrow you are changing this, which means you are a stumbling block to the jurisprudence. You are blocking the justice. You are standing away on the way of the justice. So these are the people who must be brought. So Nairobi teacher, don't just be agonizing on internet. These are the things that you go and report. How are you going to report it? You are going to report the Mayani, because the Mayani, these are now the people who are escalating the problems, because what the act of Mayani is engaging into is a crime in itself. Receiving money to recant your evidence. Are you there? So these are the things that, an action that all these witnesses who are now recanting must be prosecuted, and now that video itself must be done so that you present it to court. You see, they're recanting. Now, such people like Mayani could only also be behind the bars, because they are the people being used, if at all this is true. Now you understand. Of course, the bail terms will always be given by the court. The court will tell you where you're going now, because you know the veracity of your alleged crime. So how you will behave going forward is this way. You're supposed never to be seen with the victim. You're supposed never to be deemed in anyhow engaging in an act that can self-incriminate you. Maybe he was told never to discuss anything about his bail terms, never to discuss anything about its release. That's why perhaps it might have taken so long for these things to come into air. So people just get to know themselves, because maybe perhaps Gitiriba was spotted around Nyabohanze. That's why people said, oh, he has been released. Amaras never said it anywhere. Village grandpas never said it anywhere. Village Jamaican uncle has said it anywhere. And of course, Marwa, Gitiriba, Marwa, or anybody could have helped. There's no sin Jamaican uncle participating in it. But the fact is, there was no money involved. What was involved? It's a property equivalent to that cash that was posted for Gitiriba to seek his freedom at bail terms coming together. And in this case, let's wait and we see. Now, as Narbi teacher is crying that this case is going to be dropped, I told him a long time ago on my video that there is no evidence. If the child was involved, like Obasa's child, that would have been so easy to pin the father of a child to have molested Obasa. But in here, there is nothing. There is nothing like a child involved. The only evidence they have an evidence of Gitiriba buying this lady a phone. And how would buying somebody a phone being reduced to molestation? You need to prove that. So it is on the duty of the alleged to prove such kind of act beyond reasonable doubt. Guys, you have to prove it. There's no any other way. There's no any other way. So these are the challenges that the issues of abuse or even rape itself being thrown out because of insufficient evidence. Because the judge is going to weigh the evidence that the prosecution presented and the counter evidence of the defendants, because that is it. There's no any way. There's no corrupt court. The court will be so impartial and will deal with the case as per the evidence that you people adduced. Are we together? And furthermore, the lady that Gitiriba was accused of, the lady is 19 years of age. I still wonder, why are you guys calling this lady a minor? Maybe the act was done when he was a minor. That is fine. But I just want to bring it to attention for your information that the lady is 19 years of age now. So let me know what you're thinking at the comment section and what you think and any advice that you could give and your opinion going forward. But please make it respectable. Of recent reason, majority of people have been asking me, oh, who have removed my comment? Guys, make it respectable at the comment section, because nowadays YouTube is so strict. YouTube will always remove your comment. It's not Zach who removes your comment. Sometimes you post a comment and then you find it's already been removed. And sometimes it also affects my video for it not to be monetized because at the comment section. So make it so respectable. Then we all be in the same page and good to go. Until next time, this is Senior Zach. Prost.